Buddy. I was going to mention that we're recording this presentation today because we will be playing it in other outlets, which you'll hear a little bit later down. So welcome everyone. Cambridge Health Alliance is very pleased to have you join us today to spend some time with a great group of Everett youth who've been engaged in a special project focused on the prevention of problem youth gambling. Can you go to the next slide, please? My name's Jean Granick. I'm the program manager at Cambridge Health Alliance's Community Health Improvement Department, working in the communities of Everett, Revere, and Chelsea. For this Photo Voice project, there have been two key youth leaders working with the youth, Jamie Lederer and Nora Lee, and they will introduce themselves in a few moments. So can you go back to the slide? So tonight's agenda is going to include welcome and introductions, which we're doing right now. There'll be a program description. There's going to be the photo exhibit by the youth. There's going to be a call to action piece, and then we'll discuss next steps. So before we begin, I just want to give a little bit of background and a couple shout outs to some important people. So the Massachusetts Department of Public Health's Office of Problem Gambling created opportunities for youth in the Everett region to be involved in this Photo Voice initiative to explore issues related to the prevention of problem youth gambling. Our DPH grant program has been a regional approach involving youth from Everett, Somerville, and Malden. Cambridge Health Alliance partnered with the Somerville Health and Human Services Department and the Malden's YWCA for earlier cycles, where each of the communities completed the curriculum and exhibition and the parental educational components, as well as a call to action. While this is Everett's second cycle, last year in March 2020, the youth involved were not able to complete the project with their own photographs. So we are very excited that today our youth in Everett were able to create their own images and captions and to present them here tonight. We'll be hearing directly from the youth as they share their photographs that they've taken, some of their thoughts, and how this all relates to issues connected to problem gambling. And before we begin the next step, I just want to give a great appreciation to Rachel Kane, who is the Assistant Director of Programs and Services at DPH's Office of Problem Gambling. She has a really strong commitment to youth leadership and their voice. And sorry, my phone is ringing. And a very special thanks to our technical assistance staff at the EDC, also known as Educational Development Center, and that would be Sarah, Jerome, and Rebecca Bishop. And so Rachel and Sarah are here tonight, so thank you for joining us. So my last little statement here. We hope this group of talented youth provide insight and new perspectives on issues impacting youth in Everett, including preventing problem youth gambling. The youth in Everett are the future leaders of this community, and this Photo Voice project is an excellent opportunity to have their voices heard and be a part of a community-wide dialogue. And now I'm going to turn it over to Jamie and Nora. Can't hear you, Jamie.
Thanks, Jean. So thanks everyone for joining us tonight. I'm happy to welcome you to this event and just share that at Cambridge Health Alliance, we are really invested in providing youth with opportunities that build upon their interests and engage them about important and current topics concerning the Everett community and public health. We're invested in working across the community and partnering with the city, the schools, and other agencies. And this Everett Youth Photo Voice project engaged high school youth during a weekly virtual session beginning in March. The group explored issues related to problem gambling using photography and looking at it through different lenses, including cultural, and social norms, health disparities, youth and brain development, mental health, risk behaviors, and their physical environment. And the group used a few framing questions throughout the journey of this project. Three of them. What kind of risks related to problem gambling are youth exposed to in the community? How does underage gambling influence your ability to identify and take healthy risks? And what does your community need in order to ensure that all youth have opportunities to take healthy risks? And so we're excited to share those, some of those perspectives tonight. And I'm going to like to introduce Nora Lee, who share a little bit more about the program.
Amy. Yeah, I'm Nora. I am the project assistant for this project. And yeah, I had a really good time working with the youth, even though everything was on Zoom. But yeah, so since March, we have covered a wide range of topics such as health disparities and health equity, youth activism throughout history, problem gambling, and photography. With these topics as a foundation, we honed in on youth concerns. And as you will see in the photo exhibition, the youth really care about mental health and creating a healthy environment for youth in Everett. We also recently did an event with the caregivers to learn more about youth problem gambling together. And then finally, the group worked together to develop a call to action, which we will hear more about at the end. And then now the youth will share photos with us. And then please feel free to use the chat or reactions to support the youth as they show us their photos. And you can leave questions in the chat as well. And then we'll have time for a Q&A at the end if there's any questions. And so, yeah, so first up, well, let me move the slides, is Neve, if you're ready, Neve.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Neve Nelson. I am 16 years old and I'm a rising senior at Everett High School. Something I really enjoyed of being a part of this was really the different meanings and perspective of photos and the impact a photo can have. I really admired learning about the different issues about gambling and mental health. I feel like it's really good to talk about. I really got a better understanding of the phrase, a photo holds 1,000 words, because during my time with Photo Voice, I realized that photos hold so much potential and meaning. So this photo I took with my friends. That day it was cloudy outside, but I really liked how like through the clouds, like the rainbow was shining. So through every storm, there is a rainbow, and through the darkness, there is always a way out and hope. I feel like as though this photo has a deeper meaning than it appears, because at the first glance, you see a rainbow in the clouds, but what I see is strength and acceptance. And the second photo, I was out with my friends again, and I really liked how like there was like a messy pile of branches, but there was like that big one branch that stood out and it had like a positive message on it. So at first glance, you see a bunch of branches, and then there's that one big branch that stands out. I really admired that part of this photo the most because it symbolizes that you need to be yourself because everyone is already taken. Also in this photo, the big branch is written on it and it says never give up. And I really love that I found that through the pile of branches. And something I hope the audience will take away from today is the true meaning behind a photo. To tie it all together, I feel as though mental health needs to be talked about more, and the meanings behind my photos kind of show that off. I want to appeal to my audience that you are not alone, and through these photos, the world is so much bigger than you think. Thank you.
Thank you, Neve. Next up is Kian.
Hello, my name is Kian Lau, and I'm 16 years old and a sophomore at Everett High School. So something that I really enjoyed about Photo Voice was just learning more about the field of photography, about the ethics, and just overall like the techniques of how to photograph things or just scenes in general. So today I'm going to be sharing a couple of photos. The first one is the one that you're seeing right now. I took of my neighbor's front lawn, and the caption reads that even through quarantine, life continues. With so much chaos going around the world, I observed nature and found it calming to see order, even in a busy as well as crowded street. There needs to be more areas in Everett to appreciate the nature around us. So In my next photo, it's also in my neighborhood. It's of a road getting fixed. And the caption is that this is a photograph of a sidewalk getting fixed after such gradual weathering and deterioration, making it dangerous to walk in the winters. This shows that Everett is a city of progress, yet similar sidewalks throughout Everett should also be fixed to highlight the pride we have for our community. And also, just to comment, I hope that the audience today feels compelled to take action and address the issues of mental health by creating more green spaces and nature in Everett, or simply just to appreciate the beauty that surrounds us. Furthermore, the infrastructure of all Everett neighborhoods should be considered as well.
Great. Thank you, Ken. This next youth is Anaya, who couldn't be with us today, but she sent in a video. So I'll play it now. Please, I guess, message if the audio is not working or the video.
Hello, my name is Anaya Rivera and I am a student at Everett High School and I'm going into grade 11. I really enjoyed finding problems and things that we could fix in my city. I learned why gambling is dangerous for the youth. The first picture I took was trash in front of the house. Seeing things like this in Everett affects me because it shows that people really don't care about their city. Picking up things like trash would help the youth be more proud of their city. My second photo is a missing crosswalk on a street. Having missing painting jobs in my city should be fixed. I saw this in a high school and this could be very dangerous for youth. It is dangerous because teen drivers can miss a sign and get in an accident. This can take unhealthy risks for people coming across it. I hope you guys can see that missing roadwork and trash around my city can affect the youth.
So these are Anaya's photos. I'll just linger on them so you guys can read the captions. And this is her second photo. Okay. So next we have Betty, who also could not make it today, right, Jamie? So I'll just read her captions. So this convenience store is to get any snack, lunch, or other needs you want at a fair price, but there is an issue that must be solved. Many convenience stores sell lottery tickets and cigars, and it is clearly stated that they are actually for those aged 18 and above. Numerous adults, on the other hand, will gladly buy lottery tickets and or cigars as a favor for many street youngsters. It is not many parents' concern nowadays, but e-cigs, tobacco, etc., are often sold to teens under ground regulated. Can people hear me? It just told me my internet was unstable.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. And this is Betty's second photo. So the Everett Teen Health Center is located at the end of the Everett High building. This moderate yet ingenious space has become a safe sanctuary for the numerous Everett High students. This section provides treatments ranging from physicals to vaccines, mental health assessments and assistance, reproductive care, and education. It's all there. Just select a time that works for you, and they'll welcome you with open arms. I believe this is the finest addition to Everett High, and many others are also grateful for its presence. Yeah, Betty talked about how she really likes this. So next up is Olivia.
Hi, my name is Olivia and I'm completing my freshman year at Everett High. I really enjoyed doing this project and I loved connecting with my peers and learning aspects about photography and the risks of gambling. The first photo that I'm showing this is inside a convenience store near my house. You go to buy a bag of chips and then you see alcohol, drugs, and gambling. Addictions are so out in the open. Youth are constantly exposed to these unhealthy options. The upcoming generations will be affected by these things without knowing the consequences that come along with it. I'd like to see more positive messages for youth out in the open in our city and cities surrounding us. Um, my second photo, this is a picture of the Encore Casino from the Home Depot garden area. A building so big, so exposed to the community and citizens within are so normalized and portrayed as fun and okay for you. It encourages you to aspire to go there, although it's a huge risk for you and your mental health. Problem gambling issues, yet no one pays attention to them. Today, I hope you all take away new knowledge of teen gambling and the consequences of it, as well as teen and adult mental health. I hope you will see why it's an important topic to focus on and to raise awareness for. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. Next is Raphael.
Hello, my name is Rafael Limas Solis, and I am a student at Everett High School, completing sophomore year. I've learned many things during my time in photo voice. For example, I learned how different angles convey different emotion, different backgrounds could tell a message, and that gambling could lead to an addiction like any other drug. Also, the photography part of the project was really fun. Being able to take pictures and think about what message it could say was fun. Also, being able to take different photos could tell different messages. Messages like how gambling could affect a child and the environment. Also, pictures showing that it is better to help someone's mental and emotional health. The first picture is an image of the sun, where the clouds, trees, and leaves are blocking the sunlight. This reminds me of mental health, and due to mental health, people stay hidden. The mind gets clouded with thoughts, sometimes through the cracks. The light could shine through. Be the light and show kindness to people, either in work, school, or with strangers that you just met. There has to be time for youth to recover from school, and there should be low cost therapy for the youth, so it can be accessible to everybody. The second picture is a picture of the ladder that was laying on the ground. It looked like it was going to continue forever. The rope was attached to it so that it could stay closed. It looked like an image where there is a forever challenge that someone might need to take. Thus, climb the ladder. If you feel like you are stuck with something, for example, homework or playing an instrument, the rope will withstand. The terrible thoughts one could have when climbing the ladder could be consuming for their mental health, like the youth, since they still are new to the world. That is why teachers, parents, or anyone should support the youth and be the rope of their ladder so that they can take care of themselves when climbing the ladder. Look after one another and ask how they are doing. Support the dreams of people and do not make them go down. Be the rope of their ladder. The third picture is a scratch ticket that was ripped into pieces and thrown or blown into my yard. There is a convenience store nearby my house, which the scratch ticket could have originated from. This shows that gambling does have an effect in every. People waste their money or scratch tickets hoping to win the jackpot. When they do not win, they throw away the scratch tickets by either folding them or ripping them apart onto the streets of Everett or onto the yards of neighbors. This could influence the youth to gamble in hopes to also get the winning numbers and later more. Not only does it hurt their pockets, but it also hurts the environment. This could influence the youth that these activities are normal. I hope that this raises your awareness on the issues of gambling and mental health for the youth in Everett. Hopefully, you understand that there is a long road ahead for the youth and the things they might experience. Also, talk to your child about these topics to make them understand that there are good and bad consequences to their every action. I hope that this will soon be your call to action as well.
Thank you, Raphael. Next is Salma B.
Hello, my name is Salma Bulgaderi, and I am a student at Everett High School completing the 10th grade. Something I've learned is that gambling is all around us. Even a family game night can include gambling. One thing I really enjoyed was getting to take pictures and talk to my peers about the pictures that I took during this project. In my first photo, it shows trash near a well-known daycare in the area. In the city of Everett, one thing they could improve is city maintenance. I was walking around a well-known daycare when I noticed trash and cigarette butts on the ground of the side entrance. There were large cracks in the cement, and anybody could easily fall. That's a hazard to children, not to mention an eyesore. We should be an example to the children and keep the city clean. In my second photo, it shows how Everett is usually going through renovations. Sometimes it can be dangerous. This street is commonly used to go to Swan Park, a local favorite. Both sidewalks are closed, and that can put pedestrians and children in danger. One way to help prevent incidents is by placing a slow sign to help keep Everett's residents safe. Gambling can lead to other forms of substance misuse, and to make sure that youth understand the dangers of gambling, we should try to bring more awareness. Thank you.
Thank you, Salma. And then next is Salma Z.
Hi, my name is Salma Zaki, and I'm a student at Everett High School completing my junior year. I would just say, like, during Photo Voice, I got to learn the emphasis of teen gambling and like the various projects about it and how it can impact lives and what us as like a community can do about it. With the information that Jamie, Nora, and Jean were able to provide me with, I took these images that spoke a lot to me. So with this first image, with the caption, I took this image to capture a sense of growth. It might be hard to see, but you can see how the plant is starting to grow around the string attached to the shade. I thought that this would have a deep meaning because in the sense that there will always be damage to repair and you can do good with that. And I felt like teens that are struggling with teen gambling should know that until they're, I would say, prepared and ready to speak up and say that like there is an issue, they can get themselves out of a hole that they feel like they're so buried in and be able to make something good of it. So with this next picture, I called it It's Okay to Not Be Okay. All the time you see those that struggle with mental health and close everyone off and won't accept that the help that they need. But when they have the right support, they're able to finally say that they're okay. Some people just can't, and this can encourage people to seek help to get better for themselves. Those struggling with mental health also feel like people sometimes around them just wouldn't care, or they wouldn't have the proper care that they need to mentally be better. And I feel like if teens were to understand that the proper sources are available to them and they can be able to speak about how they feel, it would encourage others to come forward and get the help that they need. So with the images I took, I hope that it puts a new perspective on these real life issues and it appeals to the audience that you can display new skills and learn new things to bring such big awareness to certain things. And regarding like whether it be youth issue awareness and mental health, there's so many other issues that can be resolved with just the simple help of a couple of people, and it can go a really long way.
Thank you, Salma. And then Ken with the call to action.
We hope that you enjoy our virtual photo voice exhibit. Before we open it up for questions and comments, I want to share with you all another important part of our work. One of the main elements of our photo voice project was creating a community call to action. For our call to action, we want to raise awareness of the impact of community issues and concerns on overall teen mental health and well-being. The hope is that this call to action will motivate members in our community to not only learn about these issues, but also be proactive and advocate for change to support Everett's youth. Thank you for listening.
Great job, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing. So impressive. So great to hear everything that you have to say and also see how you portray it through photos. We'd like to open it up to see if anyone in our audience has any questions for the youth. You can feel free to put them in the chat or, come off of your mic.
I'd like to jump in if I can. Hi, everybody. Susan Lomas from Everett High School, one of the health teachers. And I love this. I loved looking at mental health and these issues through photography. I thought you guys really had some beautiful photos. And I love that we're talking about this and, starting to really, gather about it. My question is for any of you, what can we do? What else can we do? How can we make this broader and maybe, do something even school-wide where people, either this kind of photography or, some other methods, how can we bring it to the school?
I can answer that. So I feel like the change really just starts with the youth, and being part of this photo voice project was really helpful and a step towards the right direction of addressing these issues in our communities. And I would just say, like, overall, just being more aware of mental health and just destigmatizing mental health in general, and that would really go a long way.
Excellent. Can I jump in? So that's fantastic. I know that next year at the high school, I'm Therese Venezia, again, one of the health teachers at the high school. I know that next year there are plans to do a mental health day. A couple of students actually approached the health director, the health coordinator the other day, and they're going to start planning that, maybe getting some guest speakers in, and maybe that would be something great that we could showcase, some of your photographs on that day as well to the rest of the school community. And I'm sure Julian Whitson will be in touch with everybody about that. As a teacher, I took copious notes about everything you guys were doing, and it's fantastic. I love just the emphasis on supporting each other. I saw a lot of you had those messages, right? About, climbing the ladder, being the support for somebody else, supporting others as we're growing, talking about that plant, moving on its way up, being great role models for the youth and for the children in the daycare center, and not giving up. I mean, these were just some great messages. And I'm wondering if there's ways that we can, maybe start another group of something of support for others, after school or during the day or anything like that. These are fantastic.
And one other thing that I really liked that people kept on touching on is how important nature is for our mental health, which for me personally, that's huge. I need to get outside and, I was wondering how you guys kind of fell into that and, you students about, nature and mental health and what that really means to you. maybe I could, the person who had the rainbow, I think that was Nevaeh. I thought that was like a really awesome show of nature against the city. You know, how does nature affect you, Nevaeh?
I would say that nature affects me. I don't know. I don't know how to explain. It's like for example, like when it's raining outside, people automatically think like, oh, like today's a gloomy day. But like sometimes when it's raining, it's like it doesn't have to be like such a bad day. Like you make your day what you want it to be. So I feel like how you can turn the weather around and make it what you want.
I love that. Yeah, make your day what you want it to be. I was actually just thinking the other day, when was it raining? Was it Monday that it ended up raining? And we came home and I was like, oh, I can't do anything. It's raining. And then I was like, wait a minute. I can't do anything. It's raining. And it gave me the time to sit back and do nothing, to not feel like, oh, I had to go out and get the yard work done, or I had to go and run the errands. It was like, no, this is my excuse to sit on the couch and unwind and relax. So yeah, it's always about finding kind of that silver lining, right? Finding that rainbow. That was a beautiful picture.
And I was that person who went hiking through Braycott on that pouring rain and got drenched.
This is all really wonderful. Would it be okay if I asked a question?
Please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Keane with the Department of Public Health. And first, just wow, your pictures and your statements just blew me away, and I learned so much tonight. So really thank you for your time and your dedication to this. It's incredible. And I was wondering if one of our students could share their thoughts on if or how this project has changed your conversations with your family, your friends, your classmates. I'd love to hear more about that.
So while I was working on this project, I definitely, like, when I went out to take pictures and stuff, I would tell my parents like what I'm doing, and it did start the conversation, which is always like a bonus, you know, when you start a new conversation about a topic that needs to be addressed. And every time you start this conversation, you spread the message. Not only do you spread it to your parents or to your family members, and then your family members spread to other people. So it's like a domino effect, and it just helps the overall situation in our community.
That's wonderful, Sana. Thank you for sharing.
And I'll just ask a question as a follow-up. You know, we had an event on a Sunday and it was like 95 degrees out. We were all gathered around our devices, but with parents and caregivers. And I'm wondering what that was like for some of the youth afterwards. Did you continue the conversation or learn more and discuss with them off screen? And I know there's some parents joining us too. Feel free to join us.
Well, Jamie and I were happy to receive a nice email from one of the parents who was very pleased and thought this was a great project. So we appreciated it. And
thank you all so much for your questions. And we have a few more things that we're going to share. So So we'll continue, and if more questions come in, we're happy to answer them as well.
All right, so our next steps are to be on the lookout for our Photo Voice zine and sharing the presentation online at ECTV. We will be creating a zine of our project and be sharing it with our community. We will distribute it to some key leaders in the community and also place it at some sites around Everett. Also, this presentation will be available on the Cambridge Health Alliance YouTube channel and places like ECTV.
And then here are some useful resources we wanted to share. If you or someone you know has concerns about problem gambling, and these are accessible for both adults and for youth.
Right. So, I mean, we'll put the links in the chat from the other slide. And then this slide is just appreciations for all the youth that we worked with since March. Yeah, it was really great working with all of you. I know working on Zoom is really hard and like nobody wants to do it, but I think you guys did great and you guys were always very engaged and your photos turned out amazing. And yeah, I really wish we could have hung out in person though. But yeah, we really appreciate you. And yeah, thank you to our youth participants.
And then, of course, we didn't do all of this alone. Lots of folks have helped us along the way. And so we want to, again, acknowledge the Massachusetts Department of Public Health's Office of Problem Gambling. Rachel Kane, thank you for all of your support and joining us tonight. And of course, the Education Development Center, EDC, Sarah and Rebecca have been with us on this journey for 2 years, as Jean had talked about earlier. This is after 2 years of the project. And so thank you. And I know Sarah is here with us tonight. And this was a regional effort. We did this with folks from Malden as well as Somerville in the different cycles. And it's been supportive along the way of just thinking about different ways we can bring this to our communities and all of the different steps involved. Of course, this project is supported out of the CHA's Community Health Improvement Department, our director, Kathy Betts, and some very instrumental folks named Angela and Samira. We feel important to name them as part of all the things that go on behind the scenes. And of course, the Everett Public Schools, the health teachers that are with us tonight, Susan and Therese, and a lot of folks helped promote this, that helped reach the youth, including in the art department. And of course, the youth families who have been wonderful to get to know and meet. And hopefully one day we'll have a chance to bump into each other in Everett on the streets.
And I'd like to add a very, very special thank you and deep appreciation for Jamie and Nora, who just kept going when it was when the challenges happened. They just kept going. So they were there every week for the youth, and I can't thank you enough. I think all of us really appreciate the time and effort you put in. Thank you.
Thanks, Jean. And then we have one more piece of information we'd like to share with everyone. So Everett and the digital access is well known for being troublesome. It has interfered at different times of our lives with being able to have some of our conversations, but we definitely forged through. And there is a lot of work happening right now to address this and get community input and feedback on what is the true experience of accessing the internet, knowledge and literacy about using the devices and how to fix things when they go wrong. And so I'm going to paste in the into the chat box the survey, and it's available in multiple languages. And so this is a screenshot of what it looks like when you click on the link, and there's a drop down right at the top where it says English that connects to the other languages. We strongly encourage all of our families to complete it. You know, if our teachers are able to share it, we can send it to you by email with your students and colleagues and everything. They really, really want to get good understanding and input and make sure that everyone's voices are heard and are part of the solution.
So we've reached the end of our formal presentation, and just if you want any more information, this is my information and Jamie's, and we'd be happy to talk with anyone about the project and how to share this really important and valuable information by the youth. So thank you for spending your Wednesday late in the day afternoon with us. And thank you especially to all the youth. You guys were outstanding and we're so proud of you. So thank you. So